How are you? I'm fine. So many English learners say this after someone asks them how they're doing. In fact, I would say at least 90% of English learners answer I'm fine every time someone asks them how they're doing. Okay? The problem with that is that 0% of native English speakers answer this way. I mean, it's possible. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe sometimes native English speakers would use it, but I rarely hear it. Okay, so that's the problem. So many English learners are using it all the time, and native English speakers rarely use it. Okay, so in this lesson, I want to teach you some other ways to say I'm fine. Okay, you could say, I'm doing great, thanks. You? So when someone asks you how you're doing, it's nice to ask them how they're doing as well. Okay, so you can say you or yourself, or and you and yourself, and how are you, or how are you? Okay, there's a lot of different ways you can ask someone how they're doing. Okay, but this is a really common response. How are you? I'm doing great, thanks. You? Okay, or this. I'm all right, thanks. Yourself? I'm all right, thanks. Yourself? I'm doing pretty good. Yourself? I'm doing pretty good. Yourself? Now, if you're not doing good, then you can say this. I'm not doing that great. I'm not doing that great. Okay? Or you could say, things have been better. What about you? Things have been better. What about you? Okay? Now, these two questions are very common as a greeting. Okay? How are you? Or how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hey, how are you doing? Okay, they're both very common, and the response is basically the same. You should reply the same to each question. There's just a little difference. Okay, when someone asks you, how's it going? Then you should start with the word it. It's going pretty good. Okay, or you can just say, pretty good, thanks. You don't need to say that first part if you don't want to. But if someone asks you, how are you? Then you need to start with the word I. I'm doing pretty good, thanks. And you? Or you can just say, pretty good, thanks. And you? Okay, so you don't need the first part. You can just say pretty good for both questions. But if you're going to say the first part, then there's a little difference. Okay, then you need to say, it's going. Because the person's asking, how's it going? It's going pretty good. If they say, how are you? Then I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Okay, or you can say, everything's just hunky-dory. How's it going? Everything's just hunky-dory. Okay, I never say this, but hunky-dory just means everything's going good. It's going really well. It's going great. Everything's just hunky-dory. Okay, now, another thing that I hear English learners say all the time is so-so. How's it going? So-so. How are you? So-so. Okay. We never say this. Native English speakers never say this. I don't think I've ever heard a native English speaker say this. Okay, but English learners say this all the time. Okay, so there are a few tips for you, but I want to know, how are you doing? Let me know down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.